Hello everyone, welcome to Routh Farms. My name is Luke. If this is your first time being here, welcome to the channel. If you've been here 100 times, thanks for coming back, y'all. So I started my YouTube channel nearly 2 years ago in May of 2023. And ever since then, I have never really given you guys a formal introduction of myself and my farm. A video where I just kind of go through and tell you about me, tell you some facts about how I got into farming, and that's what today's video is going to be about. So it's been a long time coming. Hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks for watching. If you have any other questions or anything, leave them down in the comments, and if you would, give us a like and subscribe. So I'm a 27-year-old, fixing to be 28 years old tomorrow, March 24th. A young farmer here located in Denton, North Carolina, which is kind of the central part of the state. Currently, we grow soybeans, wheat, and corn, as well as raise hay, and we have a few livestock. We have some sheep and some cattle. So to start the video off, I want to go over kind of how I got started and how I got into agriculture. So to begin with, I have two grandpas. I have my dad's dad and my mom's dad. And I'm going to say I'm a little different than most farmers in the way that I was brought up. My dad's dad and my dad, they grow livestock. They have a very small cattle operation here in North Carolina. Typically have between about 15 and 20 head, just depending on the season. And then you have my mom's dad, and he was the row crop farmer. He grew soybeans, corn, and wheat at some point in his career, but for the most part, the last 15 or so years of his career before he fully retired from farming, he solely grew soybeans. So it was kind of interesting growing up on the farm, being able to get first-hand experience from both the livestock side of things as well as the crop side of things. My dad's dad, Grandpa Gene, y'all probably seen him in some videos if you've been around a while. He used to be in about all my videos with wearing the same exact shirt, and he would be hunched over out in the driveway or sitting in a chair or something watching us. He's always loved to watch me grow and learn new things, and he has been a really big supporter of me getting to where I am today. I can remember at a very young age him wanting me to, pick up the saw or whatever and make cuts and teach me how to use things safely, and he's been a really big pusher in getting me to where I am today. So before I first really got into agriculture was helping my dad and his dad in their cattle and hay business. Used to just raise enough hay just for our own cattle. When I was in high school, we had what we called a supervised agriculture experience. It was kind of like a project, if you will. Every week you had to document hours for the SAE project, kind of stating what you did the week, either helping on a farm, mowing your yard, or what have you. Well, my dad and my grandpa had just finished fencing in around 6 acres of land at my dad's house, and they let me use that land to start my livestock business, my cattle operation. That first year, my brother and we bought some calves off of a dairy farm in Virginia, and we raised them from probably a week old up until time to sell them, and we sold those calves for a little bit of a profit. But more than less, it taught us how to care for the animals, how to feed them. We had to feed them a bottle of milk in the morning and the evening, as well as feed them feed. Kind of taught us the responsibilities of taking care of livestock, as well as, how much money it took to raise them, and then how much we got paid at the end of the year. Well, fast forward to the next year, I was getting old enough that I was able to help my dad and grandpa in their hay business enough that instead of paying me money, they just gave me a heifer. And the heifer we actually still have on our farm today. She is getting kind of old, so it's about time for her to head to the sale barn as well. But that helped me to get into the livestock side of farming. Then fast forward to 2021, In the fall of 2020, I decided I want to plant some wheat, and I planted around 16 acres on the Low Place farm, which is a family-owned farm that my dad's dad owns, and we still currently farm it today. I had raised the wheat crop from that fall, and in June of 2021, I was preparing a Gleaner combine that sat in the shed right here behind us. I was getting it ready so that I could take it out and harvest my first wheat crop with it. Well, June 13th, 2021 rolls around. I'm in the shed working on the combine, and my grandpa walks in and proceeds to tell me that he is done farming, he's ready to fully retire, and that I could farm his land and my other grandpa's land. And that was really my kind of push into the row crop side of farming. That year, I was able to raise 53 acres of soybeans, and thankfully, my grandpa was able to help fund me that first year. He had already purchased the soybean seed, and he allowed me to use that and then pay him back at the end of the year once I harvested my crops. And then luck just had it where I had enough money saved up that I had the money to afford the fertilizer, the chemicals, and to custom hire out getting my field sprayed, because that first year I didn't have a sprayer or my chemical license. So while extremely happy to be able to finally farm on my own, it was very nerve-wracking. You know, going into it, not really having any time to prepare financially, it was a big deal. That year I was able to take this John Deere 6620 combine behind us here and harvest my first wheat crop. And the money I made from that crop was able to help me purchase all my chemicals, all my seed, fertilizer, land rent, and everything until I was able to get the money from the soybeans that I raised that year. I was very blessed that year to have a very good crop and very good prices for my first harvest. I think I sold my first bean crop at $16.25 per bushel, which when compared to the $10.71 per bushel I got last week when I sold my crops, I was very happy. So 2021, we started off with 52 acres and a dream, and here we are 4 years later, we're up to about 150 acres, and now instead of raising soybeans, we raise soybeans, wheat, and corn. We have kind of expanded a little bit, both in size and equipment. The first year we started off, my grandpa let me use his John Deere 6620. He had an old International dump truck that actually croaked on us in our second year of farming. And he also had a John Deere 4250 tractor, an International 986, and a John Deere 750 grain drill. At the time, the 986 was set up with saddle tanks and a 45-foot sprayer. And that's what he had always sprayed his crops with, as long as I could remember anyway. I'll throw a picture of that up here so y'all can see what he used to farm with. It's pretty neat, actually. So since that faithful year in 2021, we have upgraded trucks. We've got a newer dump truck. This one's got a diesel in it, it's got air brakes. This has been a really good truck to us. Up to this year, we have actually ran the 6620, and this spring I picked up a John Deere 9500 at auction really cheap. We've also picked up many other pieces of equipment, such as this Ford spreader truck. We use chicken litter for our main source of fertilizer here on my farm, and we needed this truck to be able to apply that fertilizer, apply that chicken litter to our fields so that we can grow a good crop. My grandpa has also been gracious enough to let us use the rest of his equipment and his buildings here, as well as his bin site, and that has been a big help to me growing and being able to afford to start my farm. It would be really hard to start a farm from complete scratch, having nothing, without having a lot of debt. And so far, up until this point, I have not had any debt on the farm aside from an occasional operational loan just to help me get through growing pains. So one thing that you're probably going to see different on our farm versus a lot of bigger farms is how we market and sell our grain. For the most part, big farmers, they take their soybeans, their wheat, or their corn. They may store it in bins on site over the winter or until prices increase, but for the most part, they sell it in bulk to granaries, mills, grain elevators, whatever have you, for a bulk price, and they sell a bulk amount. For the most part, a tractor trailer load, and they'll get a set price set by the Chicago Board of Trades. Here on my farm though, we do sell some soybeans like that. Most of our soybeans go for bulk price, but like almost all of our corn and most of our wheat, we actually bag and sell here off the farm to local deer hunters, to local farmers, to local people raising chickens. We try to sell a lot of our product direct to consumer to make more money. In 2023, when I raised my first corn crop, we actually built this whole setup. I built this hopper from scratch. We bought the bagging scales from a landlord. This conveyor came out of a Dollar General where they used to run packages on it. And we built our own custom grain bagging setup where we can bag a pallet of corn, which is 40 bags, about every 8 minutes. And over the years, we've kind of upgraded it and got a little better. And we typically sell between 6,000 and 8,000 bags of corn and wheat a year. And as we grow more, hopefully we'll sell more. Along with bagging our own grain, we also take the straw left over from our wheat when we harvest it in the spring, and we bale it and we sell wheat straw. This brings in a very significant amount of revenue per acre as opposed to just raising the grain itself. Typically speaking, we get between $4 and $5 per bale, and on a good year of wheat harvest, we'll have between 80 and 100 bales per acre. So you do the math and see how much more that adds per acre to our revenue. It is a lot of work, but that helps us small farmers survive. So going back to 2021, when I first started farming, I thought I knew how to farm. I thought I knew a lot. But really, in hindsight, I didn't know anything. You know, helped my grandpa. He always drove the truck, always drove the combine. I drove the tractor when we planted the beans for the most part. And, you know, I thought I knew it all, just like every young farmer out there. But boy, was I wrong, and boy, did I learn a lot that first year. If I could give advice to any young farmer who may be watching this, one of the very first things you need to do is get with your local county cooperative extension, get to know your agent good, and let them be a valuable resource for you, because they are a very, very valuable tool. They helped me get a lot of things set up that year. They helped get me in contact with FSA, which is where we have to record the fields that we farm and what crops we farm on those fields every year. He helped me get set up with getting my chemical pesticide license. So fast forward from 2021 to 2023, May to be precise, we were selling the Gleaner combine that I actually was going to use to harvest my first wheat crop. A fellow by the name of Nelson, which has a YouTube channel called IP Farms here on YouTube, he came to buy the combine, and at that point I had already kind of thought about starting my own YouTube channel, but for whatever the reason in the past, when I started videoing, I just didn't video enough to make a video. I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to edit videos, but Nelson gave me that push to really get into YouTube. So with May of 2023, I started my YouTube channel, Routh Farms, where you guys are watching now. My first video was terrible. If you guys think this video and my past few videos are bad, well, go back and watch that first one, because we have came a long way since then. And I'm very proud of what we've done, where we've came from, and honestly, I'm proud of my editing skills. But a lot of that was due to friends and things I've met through YouTube helping me out. Matt Griggs has been a big one. Griggs Farms LLC, he has given me a tremendous amount of help. So we started the YouTube channel in May of 2023, and we have slowly grown it to a little over 6,500 subscribers now. And I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment, that in 2 years we have grown to nearly 6,500 subscribers. So thank you guys for that. Thank you for my routine folks that follow me and that watch and comment on all my videos. I don't know all of you, but I have met a lot of really good people that I talk to daily on Snapchat. Appreciate all you guys. You know, I enjoy talking to you. Appreciate the comments and everything. You know, I really enjoy doing the YouTube thing, and I plan on doing it for a long time to come. As long as you guys want to watch, I'm gonna make a video. So since starting farming in 2021, I have continued working a full-time job up until this year. This year, in January of 2025, I have actually went out on my own and started my own business. But all this is in conjunction with farming. So I do all my work, and then I try to farm of an evening, during the weekend, or however I have to make it work to be able to farm. If you're a beginning farmer and you think you're going to go right out on your own and just farm full time, I hate to tell you, it's probably not going to happen. Or if you do, you're going to have to work your butt off. Farming is one of those things that nowadays you just about have to farm and then have something off the farm to make some money to be able to support the farm. And I've learned that the hard way. And here we are, and I'm still working a full-time job and I'm still farming. But we are getting a little closer every day to my hopeful eventual goal of being able to farm full-time and have the farm support me and my family. So we've talked enough about the past. Now let's talk a little bit about the future. So in the future, I really hope that one day I can farm without having to have a full-time job aside from farming. I hope maybe one day the farm can support me where I can stay home every day and work on our equipment, work on planting our fields, taking care of our crops, harvesting our crops, marketing, and trucking our crops. Don't know if that'll ever happen, but we have grown 100 acres as far as cropland in the last 4 years, so I definitely think anything is possible, and anything with a good Lord behind me, I can do anything. That being said, you know, we're going to have to do a lot of equipment upgrading over the next few years. We did just purchase a new to us Kinsey 3500 6-row corn planter this year. Really excited to get to run that this spring. One of our biggest things I think we'll have to upgrade if we get much bigger is our sprayer. Our Wilmar 745 is a good sprayer right now, but as we gain land, and I'm sure we'll have to go further away from the farm to gain more land, this thing has a road speed of about 12 to 15 miles an hour, and that just don't get it when you got to go 5, 10, 15 miles away, especially with me working a full-time job and trying to do this stuff of the evening and on the weekends. But needless to say, we're going to have to upgrade a lot of equipment, and I do hope here in the next few years I can purchase some land of my own. Currently we rent or lease all of our land out. A big majority of that is family land, but we do also lease some land from other folks. Very grateful to those guys if y'all watch my videos. If anyone out there has some land for rent in the Randolph County, Davidson County area, let me know. You know, we might can work something out. I have no interest in taking up farmland from another farmer, but you know, if you're looking to make a change in tenants or have some land that's not being farmed, let me know. Well guys, I appreciate you watching till the end. I hope you've learned a little bit about me, a little bit about my farm, kind of how I got going. If there's any other questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I've tried to film this thing about 3 or 4 different times, and I've always changed what I want to say. But I feel like I've kind of got my point across of you know, how I came up, how I got to where I am. I want to say thank you to all you guys that watch my videos. I know a lot of you has been here from the start. Some of you is newer. Really appreciate you guys taking that time out of your day to watch us. I would appreciate it if you leave us a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. Like I said, if there's anything we can do to answer a question for you or help you out in any way, don't hesitate to ask. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.